Hello, value family. You're welcome back to my channel. In today's recipe, I'm going to share with you on how to make that correct party jollof rice. This is the only jollof rice recipe you need because this is just a burst of flavors. To make this, guys, I'll be using beef. You can use any part of your beef. I'm using the stewing beef. You can use chicken. So into the pot, add in the washed beef, add in some of your chopped onions, salt, going to add in some thyme. I'll add in all purpose seasoning powder and I'll go in with some curry powder. I'll proceed to add in my blended pepper mixture. This is just a combination of scotch bonnet pepper, tatashi, and shombo. So just mix everything all together, stir it, and just allow the ingredients to penetrate well. At least if you're not new to this channel, you know this method. You are going to cover up the pot and allow this beef cook in its own juice. So some minutes later, see the liquid that is out from this juice. So this is the right time for you to now add in water that will cook this beef thoroughly till it is very soft and tender. So if you want to adjust your seasoning, you can do this now. So after stirring these all together, I'm going to cover up the pot and I'm going to allow this to cook till it is properly done. So while the beef is cooking on fire, we'll proceed now to parboil our rice. So into a pot of boiling water, I'm going to be pouring in my rice. Depending on the rice you are using, you might need to parboil it. This is a Nigerian rice that requires you to parboil it to get rid of some of the starch so that it doesn't get mushy when you are cooking it. So if you're using basmati rice or any type of rice, you might just need to only wash it. So I'm just going to allow this to boil for a few minutes and this is what we have. So I'm just going to transfer this into the sink and just wash it thoroughly. So I'll just proceed to wash this about 2 to 3 times till the water becomes clear. And once we are done washing, just make sure to pour in cold water to stop the cooking process. It is very important. So this is what the rice looks like. So I'm going to pour in the water like I said earlier. I'm going to stop the cooking process. We don't want to allow this rice to further cook when it's not on fire. So back to our beef now. We are going to check the beef whether it's properly cooked. And what I just do is I'm going to use my fork to pick up this beef. It is if it goes in very easily, I just know that the beef is ready. This method works every time for me and I'm going to test this beef. Anything is lacking, please adjust at this point. Now we are going to proceed to fry the jollof base proper. So into the pot now, I'm going to be pouring in my vegetable oil, adding some bay leaves. This is just going to flavor this oil and give it that taste that you always look at for. So once this is well heated up, I'm going to add in my chopped onions. And this is the red onions I'm using for this. So I'm going to allow your onions to fry till it is translucent before you add in any other ingredients. If I was to fry my beef, I will first of all fry it in this oil before adding in these onions. But I won't be frying my beef. So if you're frying your beef, first of all fry it in the oil and use the same oil to fry your tomato base. But I'm going to pepper my beef or stew my beef, anyone you call it. So once the onions is well fried, just add in your tomato paste. And the type of tomato paste you use for your jollof rice actually matters. Yes, it matters. So make sure you just go for the good brand that you have out there. So you're going to make sure to fry this tomato paste till it is less tangy. This requires patience and do that on a low heat. You can see the side of my pot is already burning. So allow this to fry for up to 10 minutes. So don't mind the video how it's going. You might think that I just added in everything at the same time. No, allow your tomato paste to fry very well before you introduce your pepper mixture. And like I said, the pepper mixture is just a combination of tatache, shombo, and scotch bonnet pepper. So I've added in the pepper mixture, add in your paprika. This is just going to add to the color of the rice. So I've added in my beef seasoning powder and the brand I use is Benny. If you're in Nigeria, you should be conversant with that. So if you notice, the pot is very dry and for your tomato base to fry very well, you need vegetable oil. So I've added in more oil to this for this to actually fry very well. So if you don't like oil, you can add oil to fry your tomato paste. Once it's done frying, you can scoop out the oil on top before introducing any other ingredient. That way you can minimize the use of your oil. But you actually need oil to fry your tomatoes very well. So once after stirring, just introduce back the beef to the pot. I'm just going to stir this all together. Allow it a few minutes before I proceed to take this out. That way, I've already made a sauce beef for this, or stewed beef, or pepper beef, anyone you decide to call it. So I'm just taking this out from the pot, and this is a very great alternative to your fried beef. If you don't want to fry your beef, you should try this method. It is actually very nice. Let me show you guys what it looks like, and it is very good. So we're going to set this aside before we pour in our beef stock into this. So this is the time for you to actually get it right with your base. So right now I'll be adding in some curry powder, salt. I'll add in extra seasoning powder to this. And if there's anything that your stock is lacking, this is the time for you to just adjust and make sure that your base is very tasty. So looking at the stock, you can see that it is very little and it won't cook this rice properly. So I'll be adding in more water so that the rice can properly cook. So stir these and taste. It is very important. Taste and adjust. For in this case, there is no need to add anything. So I'm going to introduce now the already parboiled rice, and I'll be adding this in batches so that it doesn't splash and make a mess of this place. So pour in your rice in batches if your rice is in large quantity like this. So after adding in the rice, you're going to stir everything all together. And if there is need for more water, please add. In this case, after stirring, the rice needed more water because the water is just going to supposed to be slightly above your rice, not too much, just little water that will just cover up the rice because it just actually needs steam to cook your rice and not water. So after stirring, this is what we have. And I'm going to be using foil paper to cover this up because you want to trap every steam and make the rice cook very well. So cover this up and allow this to cook. About 18 minutes later, this is what we have. And this rice have been cooking on low heat. Once the water is dry, just add in your butter or margarine. This is going to make this to have a shiny look and it's going to add to the taste of your rice. So once the margarine is melted, this is the time for you to fluff it up and stir it all together. At this time, we are far from being done. You are going to further allow the rice on fire. Increase your heat at this point because you just want it to have that smoky party effect. The rice is ready quite alright. But after stirring, increase your heat, cover up your pot, and allow these few seconds on fire. And this is what it should look like. The aroma from this rice, I want you guys to try it, and it tastes so good. And that is how to make your Nigerian party jollof rice. This is so good, and everything is just so perfect. Just take a close look at this, you will understand. This rice turns out so good, and it's always a hit every time I create this. See, guys, you can pair this with coleslaw, and remember that our peppered beef or stewed beef, we are going to be serving it with this rice. Thank you guys for watching this video to this point. Don't forget to give this recipe a thumbs up, and if you've enjoyed this, let me know in the comment section below. And if you're yet to subscribe to our channel, what are you waiting for? Just go ahead and click the subscribe button below. It's free. That way I'm going to bring more recipes like this your way. See you next time. Bye.